Hey everyone, it's Alex and welcome to the Marvel Snap Decks of the Week. It's a day late, but you know what? As they say, better late than never. But I have a valid reason. I was in Philadelphia for PAX Unplugged with an absolutely wonderful experience. I got a chance to meet a whole bunch of you guys there. I really appreciate everyone that came up, said hello, and talk Snap, talk shop, and generally just talk about board games and anything that we love. It was a fantastic experience, and I love you guys and I appreciate you all so much. And the other thing I'll mention is that we're on the grind today because I literally just got off the airplane, drove home, started recording this video, and then I'm going to record the podcast as soon as this video is done with Res Snapper, aka MJ, it's MJ, aka Res Snapper, I guess. But long story short, we're going to be recording that. That's going to be out tomorrow as well. We got a lot of content to talk about. We've got OTAs, we've got a bunch of stuff. But most importantly, we got a deck for you about Agent Noir. Now, of course, if you're looking to get that weekend mission done, you're going to be playing some Spider-Man Noir. And one of the top places for it, if actually the best place for it, according to Untapped base statistics. I will mention the stats we're using because of the OTA window. We didn't have that much of a sample size for games, despite actually being a day later than usual. We're going to be using ranked 80 to 100 base stats, so infinite and the ranked 80 to 100 process, just to get a better rounded idea of like how these decks are doing. More games are beneficial. This is running a 54% win rate and a 0.22 cube rate. Not great, but it's playable. And I actually like this a lot because these are cards that I really enjoy playing. I like Superior Spider-Man. A little awkward in here naturally with something like an Agent Venom, but a lot of things get buffed here. You're very naturally playing something like a Silver Sable, right? The green power applied by the Bass is really beneficial as well, Sages as well. So you got a lot of nice hits here. Not to mention Spider-Man Noir hitting something along the lines of Iron Man and Gore is absolute gravy. I mean, with pretty much everything here, to be honest with you. You pull an Adam Warlock, you're drawing cards. I mean, that's pretty cool. So, really interesting deck for Spider-Man Noir. So, if you're looking to get those weekend missions done, you can do that right here. Going to number 9, we have Victoria Hand, and Ongoing making a bit of a comeback here. Ongoing's the next deck, but I mean, this is technically a little Ongoing as well. I like the idea of the Moon Girl Quake play. Listen, Quake making a deck actually makes me excited. I've talked about this a number of times. I think Mirage is a lot of fun to play right now. Iron Patriot, not as meta as it once was, but still a very good card. And then you got the Frigga combination, and Shadow King just simply wins games. It almost makes no sense if you're trying to like legit rank up. If you can squeeze a Shadow King into the deck, like you should probably just squeeze a Shadow King into the deck. He's so good right now. And generally speaking, you're going to be in a pretty good position to be successful here with a deck along these lines. Something like the Agony is kind of interesting. You can use it to kind of go into the Iron Patriot to kind of try to contest that lane. But Agony feels like the cuttable piece here. I don't love Agony in this deck. I would generally cut Agony, but it's up to you. This is what the stats show as the most optimal version of Victoria Hand. I think Agony's slightly sus. You can sub it accordingly. Going to number 8 here, we do have Ongoing, straight up Ongoing. This is a deck that I actually find really fun. It's running a 58% win rate, 0.35 cube rate, so like good stats overall. The cube rate's starting to get on the lower end, especially when you consider we do have a couple block games in there. It's just a good list. It's a good list. I like the idea of running the moon. Like Moonstone's one of my favorite cards in the game that I don't think gets a lot of respect. I love what it does with Mr. Fantastic, Captain Carter, and the like. The ability to spread significant power, then follow it up with like an Iron Man into turn 6 Mystique is really fascinating, especially when you can Mystique within the Moonstone location, which obviously double dips on that. I think it's a really fantastic deck. Spectrum, a bit of a choreographed closer, but still I'm often surprised with how many people don't actually consider that they're going to get their cheeks clapped by Spectrum. This is at number 8. Number 7, we're going a little faster today. Do I have a number 7 or did I just click number 8? Sorry. I'm on like literally, I'm not joking, less than 2 hours of sleep. End of turn. It's running a 58% win rate and a 0.45 cube rate. It's the standard stuff. Nothing crazy here. And you've got the most popular version is currently running the Prodigy Jocasta and Invisible Woman line. Sometimes Prodigy gets cut. Sometimes it's back in. It's back in right now. Very interesting to see, and it doesn't surprise me that Black Cat continues to make these decks, even though Hydration Bobbert is simply a superior card. Black Cat still represents a lot of power as a 1/4. With some limited downside, all things considered. It's a good deck. You've been pretty much playing. If you've been playing end of turn, you've been more or less playing this type of shell, plus minus 1 card based on the week for the last little while, despite all the plethora of nerfs that it has received. So yeah, end of turn is deck 7. Let's talk about the top 6. Oh yeah, listen, I know that Dara said it's cringe, but I'm going to be honest with you. If you want to play some Scream, you have my permission. I think Scream is very good right now. People are playing Move and stuff like that. It's just a natural counter, and you get to play a little bit of Move yourself. And the top performing version of Scream happens to be a Move deck using Hydra Stomper that recently got buffed. Thanks for buffing Hydra Stomper. But there's a couple fascinating things in here as well. You do have the Viv Vision, which also moves, but like you don't generally play Viv Vision for the movement, but you get to kind of double dip on the, well, it didn't get the buff, but it got the move. So no matter what, Viv Vision is going to do something for this deck. It moves and it procs the Cravens, it procs the Hydra Stomper, stuff like that. So it has benefits there. The one card that like, it's okay. I was playing this deck. I actually ended up cutting Cannonball. I know this is crazy. I cut Cannonball and I actually put Arrow in because I like the disruption a little bit, but Cannonball is also super disruptive. But I felt like Cannonball and Stegron were kind of doing a similar thing. I mean, damn it, man. It just, Cannonball, obviously Cannonball Mercury, like whatever, that's been nerfed into oblivion at this point, but whatever. Cannonball's still good. But like, I almost want to see if like at a 5/6, if the 5/9 Arrow becomes worth playing. I've had that thought, and I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments too. I've been playing Arrow. I'm not convinced it's better than Cannonball, but I've been playing Arrow, so I'll just throw that out there. 58% win rate, 0.47 cube rate, good stats overall. Number 5, we have discard, nothing fancy here. And okay, well, hold on, there's something fancy here I should mention. First of all, it's really interesting to see that over time, Zombie Power Man and Colonel America have solidified themselves in this deck. At first, when those cards released, Colonel America, I thought was a clear winner. I thought like, there's no way this card never not makes a discard deck. And Zombie Power Man was the one that was like, you know what, I don't think Zombie Power Man's going to often make lists. I feel like Zombie Power Man's often going to be the odd one out. He's going to get cut. People aren't going to like him. And he has been very resilient. The Conchu Apocalypse style decks have been amongst the best decks in the game for a while now. You're talking about 58% win rate, 0.48 cube rate. They haven't been like broken, but they've been so unbelievably consistent. Obviously, it's a Golden Gauntlet winning deck. Not this particular variation because Zombie Power Man and Colonel America weren't out yet, but whatever. Long story short, discard is highly reliable. Definitely a good choice if you're looking to clap some cheeks here as I struggle to speak English today. Number 4 is Move, but the reason why I want to highlight this here, 59% win rate, 0.51 cube rate. No Human Torch, baby. We finally did it. No Human Torch. Sparky's out of there as well. We have a Hydra Stomper Thing deck. That's right. The Thing first steps in this list right now with Mercury Cannonball, Spider-Punk actually doing some work here. You have Captain America in here. Hydra Stomper is one of your key carries. This deck is exactly what I want to see in Marvel Snap. I actually would like to see Ezekiel Sims make lists like this, but long story short, whatever, you can't have everything. I like the idea of these types of decks and not the Human Torch ones. If these types of lists can become more playable, which apparently they are, here we are. I didn't actually play this one personally, to be honest with you. I didn't have as much time as I usually do. But like, I'll tell you that like, this is beautiful. We want this in Marvel Snap. We like, okay, I don't want to say like Human Torch doesn't have a place because like obviously that Tower of Power style gameplay, there are people that like it and there are people that like want to play a super big card and have it move around that interaction. But I think that for Snap as a whole, I feel like this version of Move is way more fun. It's less taxing on the individual player, and I think people are more willing to give this a shot. So anyways, I like this version of Move. I'm glad that we actually have a high-performing Move shell without the Human Torch. About damn time. Coming in at number 3, we do have the Horde, a 60% win rate and a 0.56 cube rate. This deck is aging like fine wine. The archetype's aging like fine wine. I mean, not really. It was kind of grape juice at first, and then they put it into a fermenter via OTA, and then they fermented it into wine, and now it's aging well because it needed a little bit of help. But long story short, that was the most convoluted analogy I think I've ever said on this channel. Whatever, you know what I meant. Maybe you didn't know. It was that confusing. But we got Horde here. The Hunger doing really well here. Obviously, you got the Zombie Giant Man, which got buffed alongside the Zombie Scarlet Witch. I like that this isn't too overly committal into the Horde. I mean, I take that back. It is kind of committal. You do have the Zombie Mr. Fantastic. You have the Zombie Sentry as well. I will say Zombie Sentry, first impressions weren't positive for most people, but now it has consistently been in those decks. And what's fascinating is you can kind of double dip on the Zombie Mr. Fantastic or the Sentry or whatever alongside something like a Grandmaster, which I find particularly fascinating. You have the Absorbing Man combination for, the Zombie Giant Man. It's just a good list. The one that kind of surprises me here is Angela, and I get it. Obviously, you play your Angela, you play your Zombie Scarlet Witch, then you pump stuff into it. It does make sense, but Angela from a scaling perspective has always felt like it hasn't quite felt the same. Obviously, it was completely broken before, but now it feels fine in this deck, and I want to love Angela. I just wonder if, weeks coming, if Angela doesn't ultimately make this deck. despite the fact that there is very natural synergy along, like, turn 2 Angela, turn 3 Zombie Scarlet Witch, and then you pump. They both benefit from that pumping. And obviously with Kitty Pryde, they all like to pump together. Whatever, I'm not editing this. Number 2, got War Machine, 61% win rate, 0.46 cube rate, despite the nerf to Storm, which I will be discussing alongside MJ on the Snapchat. Storm's change made no difference. And I was thinking about this too. I was like, man, like, I don't know if I love how they're approaching the War Machine deck, because, like, really the problem is Legion. Like, make Legion a 6 cost or something. And I say this because, like, so Storm sees play in 2 decks, pretty much, right? It sees play in this, and it sees play in C2. When you take Storm out of C2, C2 feels awful because you lose that location correction that you vitally need. And so in order to keep this relevant, you kind of really hurt Cerebro too. And I know there's people that don't like Cerebro either, but, like, whatever. I get it. It puts up a lot of power right now, but it also has very clear counters. And I mean, if you think Cerebro is always clapping your cheeks, try playing Cerebro and see how often you're getting pumped by bad RNG locations and whatever. You need Storm. So in order to keep this deck alive, we basically sacrifice C2 competitively, I think. And so I would like to see them kind of reevaluate what they do with this list and maybe consider moving Legion around. Like, I do think Legion's a fun effect. I think it's a cool card. I was one of the first people to truly love Legion, right? We remember that. Yeah, I know you remember that. But long story short, I just think we need to find a new approach to this particular list, right? Is it good? Hell yeah, it's good. There's no question about that. But I'm just saying that, like, I feel like the Storm attack vector isn't where we should be when talking about this deck. But it's still good. Number 2. Number 1. I couldn't believe it either. Now, admittedly, there was only 350 games on this, but I got too excited because it had Kang. I was like, you know what? Whatever. It's late in the week. The stats are technically there according to Untapped, so we're going to show it anyway. 64% win rate, 0.60 cube rate. It is a Loki, White Queen, Kangers deck. What an absolute thing of beauty. Shadow King in there, Shanger's in there, Legion in there, Enchantress in there. Basically, what they did was, okay, this is how it's going to work. You're going to get your Loki, and you're going to like it. You're going to get your Quinjet, and you're going to like it. And you're going to get all your tech, and they're going to hate it. And that's how you play this deck at a 64% win rate. Boom. Done deal. Sealed victory. Congratulations on your Infinite. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you tomorrow on the Snapchat. Appreciate all your support. Thank you for your patience on this video. And this has been a long outro. I love you.